Hi, welcome to my men's minimalist Camino de Invierno winter packing list.
No, laughing so hard I drooled.
My wife and I just finished walking a 10-day Camino de Invierno. We started on February 28th from Ponferrada, and we finished on March 8th in Santiago. So this is every single piece of gear, clothing, everything that I recommend bringing: shoes, poles, electronics, toiletries. 3.5 kilos, which is just over 7 pounds. Kind of amazing actually, with all this stuff in here, so that you can prepare for a really good Camino de Invierno, especially in the winter. I'm Shawn, and this is Days We Spend, and this is your ultimate Camino de Invierno packing list. Any good Camino packing list starts with the bag. This is my 4th Camino. This time around I went with a slightly more robust bag instead of something, ultra light, because I wanted to make sure that my gear stayed dry just in case we ran into some bad weather, which we did, but not as much as we expected. So I packed the U-Suite Hacker Pro 30-liter bag. 30 liters is a lot bigger than I normally recommend, but because this is a roll top bag, it can compress to the volume of the things that you're actually carrying. And while it might look like I have a lot of stuff here, I was usually wearing most of this stuff. There's even a additional sort of dry bag here to roll top and keep it extra dry. It has a chest strap suspension system, so it's kind of like a vest. It sort of hugs you. It's got a really nice waist belt, stretchy pockets here for stuffing things that you need during the day. Water, it has a built-in bladder, Camelback style, 3 liters. If you want to upgrade your bag, the U-Suite is very good. I'm just gonna go straight into the clothes. So I am wearing a Western Rise merino t-shirt. I wore this as my base layer every single day, all 10 days. I washed it one time, but it's merino, so it kept me warm, kept me dry, breathable, so it never really got very funky. And the pants I'm wearing are actually $11 sort of hiking pants from Kirkland. I got these at Costco as kind of a joke. I thought they'd be terrible, but they're amazing. They're super stretchy. You can roll them up, roll them down. They have great pockets with a lateral cut, which means when you sit down, your stuff doesn't fall out. If you have pockets that are cut this way, things can fall out. Got a zipper pocket in the back, another pocket out here, and it even has like thigh storage for passport or pilgrim passport or whatever. The Camino de Invierno in winter is a winter Camino, so you're not likely to be wearing shorts unless that's your thing. You're gonna be in pants pretty much all day, all the time, but you don't need to spend $1 million for a nice pair of hiking pants. Just get something that is flexible and durable enough for the hike. I actually packed another pair of pants. These are from Western Rise as well. I really like Western Rise and I enjoy these pants, but I think it was an overpack. If I were gonna change my packing list, I wouldn't bring a second pair of pants. I would bring a pair of gym shorts or trail shorts, something to change into at the end of the day, or something to wear if it was freakishly hot. So I would say a second pair of pants, in my opinion, is overkill. I actually did pick up a very lightweight pair of shorts on the Camino at a grocery store for like €8. Kind of like a swimsuit. They got like mesh lining. These were very comfortable. They gave me something to sleep in as well, so that you don't sleep in your underwear. 1 pair of pants, 1 pair of shorts. It's really all you need. Speaking of underwear, I am wearing merino underwear from Unbound Merino. They're fantastic. They're my favorite pair of underwear. I only brought 2 pairs of underwear, the pair that I'm wearing, and then these are a pair of ex officio sort of hiking underwear. If you really want to bring 3 pairs, you can. They're lightweight enough. It's not a big deal. I found that on a 10-day Camino doing laundry, you just wash them when you shower. I didn't need a 3rd pair, so I wouldn't recommend it, but 3 is totally normal and makes sense. I'm just wearing a generic pair of sort of wool socks. Even in the tail end of winter, the Camino de Invierno is still fairly mild. We hiked through a bit of snow, a bit of like wet, kind of puddly days, and my shoes are not waterproof, so I wanted something a little thicker just in case it got cold, but it never really did. I brought 1 pair of REI silk sock liners to prevent blisters. I really recommend these. I might actually bring a backup pair on a longer Camino. And another pair of socks, the Darn Tough sort of crew length sock. 2 pairs of underwear, 2 pairs of socks, and a pair of sock liners. More than enough. Every day I would wear this, This is an unbound merino, I forget the name, it's like a minimalist sweatshirt. This isn't something I would normally bring on a Camino, but I'm glad I did. That extra layer of full sleeve insulation without adding a lot of bulk was really great for hiking because it let me de-layer throughout the day. Most afternoons I would wear just this. It even has a hood if things got really cold. Since it is a winter Camino, there's one more layer. Woo-hoo. So this is a smart wool fleece. I got this at a secondhand store for like $30. It even has this kind of little rain reflective thing and a kangaroo pouch. I wore it every day and it doesn't smell or take up much space in the bag. So bring some kind of fleece. The final layer is rain jacket or a shell. The Camino de Invierno is in Galicia. I picked this up actually in Spain for about 35 euros, which is, I think, a bargain. This is a great rain jacket. It overperformed. Got great pockets, even has interior pockets. Very lightweight, very good at keeping me mostly dry. Our last day going into Santiago, we just got dumped on, and I arrived fairly dry, which is great. Really good hood with, you know, cinch downs for windy days on really cold mornings. This like locked in my heat. I'm gonna take this off now though because it's kind of loud. I have one more shirt here. This is a long sleeve merino tee from Unbound Merino. I'm a big merino wool guy if you can't tell. When we got into town or stayed at the albergue, I wanted something clean that I had not hiked in to change into, so I could feel like a human for a few hours before we went to sleep, and also because it doesn't smell. I wear a knee brace. There is a lot of road walking. Just make sure you bring the things that you need to be comfortable on the Camino de Invierno, because unlike the Frances or even the Norte, you will spend long stretches of time in between cities. And if you do it when we did it in the winter, very few things are open. Even, you know, pharmacies don't carry this sort of stuff. What you pack is kind of what you're gonna have. So if you need a knee brace or an ankle brace or an insole or anything like that, pack it just in case. I wore this all day, every day. Oh yeah. This is my buff merino wool winter version, so it's quite a bit longer. They have a summer version, but I didn't think it would cut it, and I was right. This was great. So sometimes I would just put it over my ears, and I had a hat. You want to protect your neck and face from the wind without having to put a hood up. The buff is fantastic. My beanie or cap, whatever your fleece cap you want to call it. This is a Weds, €2. I bought this at Decathlon. Ultra lightweight. It was amazing. I wore this all the time, especially in the mornings, but it's light enough and small enough to where you can just tuck it in a pocket as you hike. So bring a lightweight fleece cap. I have a Sunday afternoons hat, basic ball cap. You're not getting nearly as much sun on the Camino de Invierno at this time of year, and you're wearing a lot of sleeves and hoods and gaiters and things, so I didn't feel like I needed a really big sun hat. But I wanted something with a brim to protect me from direct sunlight when you're walking west, which is most of the time, and to protect you when you're walking into the rain. You just put your hood up and you're good to go. Get a hat that you can fold up and stuff down back in your bag, and this thing is tiny. I also picked up these gloves from a sporting goods store here in Galicia for like €2. These little fleece tipped gloves. They're very basic. They don't have, like, you can't use a phone when they're on or anything. They were a game-changing, life-saving thing. It's really cold in the morning, and if you don't have something on your hands, you're not going to be able to use hiking poles for very long. Get a pair of gloves. You can get a cheap pair of sunglasses, but I think it's worth the extra investment if you want to get something that is sort of built for the trail or built for hiking. The sun is really low in the sky during the winter, so you're walking west, you're going to be staring into it for a large part of the day. I went with this pair of Valen sunglasses just to sort of see how they performed. I wore these things a lot. They are this kind of cool alpine style. I found them incredibly comfortable, incredibly easy to see and hike with, even though they have these sort of peripheral blockers, which blocked a lot of the wind and any kind of side light. I also recommend the Nooz, N-O-O-Z, the Nooz sort of flat pack sunglasses if you want to keep it really minimal. My hiking poles. Just generic €35 hiking poles. Again, I bought these once I arrived to Spain. I do recommend hiking poles. If you think that you don't need them, think again. They're very, very helpful. Go above the cheapest pair and I think you'll be quite happy with what you find. Oh yeah, the shoes. So I've tried a number of hiking shoes on several different Caminos. I've done, regular tennis shoes my first time. Don't do that. I've done approach shoes, which are kind of like rock climbing shoes. Those worked really well, but I don't think they were the most apt shoe for the job. So this time I finally tried what everyone's been telling me to try. These are the Ultra Lone Peak 6, and they're so good. These are built for wide feet. They're zero drop, but they've still got plenty of cushion, so they're not really like barefoot shoes. They are not waterproof, but they got wet and then dried out really quickly, which is even better than being waterproof, honestly. They're lightweight, they're durable. I love these shoes. I completely recommend them. You're gonna end up doing 30, 35 kilometers some days. You want a pair of shoes that you can trust. I trust these very much, and they are gonna be my Camino shoe of choice. I already bought another pair. Bring a pair of shower sandals. I've had these for a really long time. I actually don't think these are the best. I would rather have a pair of sandals that I could like slide my feet into while wearing socks, like when I'm walking around town, so I didn't have to put my hiking shoes back on. I will be on the lookout for a pair of just like lightweight foam soccer style shower sandals, but these did the trick for this Camino. Moving on to the rest of the gear that I've got right here. For the electronics, I just packed 2 cables, one for my phone, one for my other devices. And I bought this little dual USB European plug adapter when I got here for like €5. This is all you need. This is my phone case. My phone is filming this right now. I did not bring a headlamp because you're just not hiking that early on the Camino de Invierno. It's just miserably cold. And the sun stays up fairly late here in Galicia, even in winter, setting around 7 o'clock. You should hopefully be to the town by then. Also, the albergues were really not very crowded, so I didn't have to like turn a headlight on to like pack my stuff in the morning. What I did instead was get a bike light. If you need to use it, you can. You can even actually hook it to your buff. I just strapped it onto one of the daisy chains here, and I kind of forgot about it. So you don't need a headlamp on this Camino. I like to listen to podcasts and music and things. These are definitely not a requirement. They're actually fairly heavy. The other thing that I brought was this Supernote. It's kind of like a Kindle e-reader, but it also has a stylus. So I was able to write and read and sort of journal. Bring a notebook if you want to or something. You don't have to bring anything quite this bulky. But that just shows like when you pack really light with clothing, you have room for a few of the things that make the Camino more enjoyable. For me, that's an e-reader and a journal. You'll also need to bring your passport and your pilgrim passport where you get all the stamps. I kept them in this simple Ziploc bag and then this larger Ziploc bag just in case the waterproofing didn't work out, but it worked out really well. So this is kind of redundant. For sleeping, I didn't bring a sleeping bag at all. I thought it was too bulky and too much, and I was completely right. So we stayed at a number of municipal albergues, pensions, which are like small private hotels, and then something, I would describe as like guest houses, sort of in between. And they all had more than sufficient bedding for the weather. I just wanted some kind of sleep sack, just in case the bedding was sketchy or I needed a little extra warmth. I got this at the same sporting goods store. I got these gloves. Super lightweight, rolls down to nothing. If you want to cut weight from your bag, you can go with just a sleep sack. And I was completely fine for all 10 nights. Also, you want to bring a sleep mask. My wife painted this for me. We each have them. This one even has a little pocket for keeping earplugs, which is great. Albergues can be quite noisy and full of light. Even in pension or something, they have like the emergency lights are on, or the TV light is on, or like there's light pollution from outside. So bring a sleep mask. You will use it at least a few times. Make sure you have earplugs if you're staying in the albergues. Spain has removed most of their mask requirements for like buses and restaurants and stuff. However, they still require a mask to go into pharmacies, which you will probably need to do to buy, ibuprofen or Band-Aids or anything that you need. If you want to get into the pharmacy, you have to have a mask, wallet. Just put this in my pocket. Obviously you need money. And my bathroom stuff. Look at all this, crazy. Small thing of toothpaste, cheap folding, travel, toothbrush, pill case for melatonin in case I had trouble sleeping. I actually didn't, but it was nice to have. And I put it all into this like airplane care bag thing that I got on the flight over to Spain. It's made of paper, it weighs nothing, it worked great. This is my towel. This is the only towel I brought along with me. I've used this for all of my Caminos. I dry off in the shower with this. You just pat yourself dry and wring it out. I think I finally hit the point where this is too small. On my next Camino, I'm gonna upgrade to a slightly larger towel. I bought some chapstick along the way. My lips got really wind chapped from the cold. And also, this is the sunscreen that I use. This is the All Good Tinted Mineral Sunscreen Butter. So fancy. Sort of zinc sunscreen that you can put on your face. Really reliable. I've used this for multiple Caminos. Really big fan, especially with how small it packs. I mean, that's kind of it. Like, there's really not that much that you need to bring. I would say, like, make sure that your everyday hiking clothing is comfortable, durable, and warm. Bring a few layers. Bring something comfortable to change into when you get to town. You want to feel like a human when you get out of the shower. Nothing sucks more than putting on dirty clothes. That's it. I'm gonna pack all this up and show you what the bag looks like packed, and then weigh it real quick without any water, just so you can get an idea of like what my bag would typically weigh. So here we go. This is it. It's really small, it's really compact, plenty of room to take off layers as you go. I never even came close to filling this up, and I wanted to leave a ton of room for snacks and food, which you will need to buy and carry on this Camino. Unlike the Camino Francés, if you've ever hiked that, you actually do have some pretty long days where you're really not close to any kind of services. Also, in the off season, a lot of the cafes, restaurants, and stores were just closed for the season. There's not a lot of demand on the Camino Invierno until April, May, June even. We only saw 6 pilgrims the entire time, and we didn't see our first pilgrim until day 3 or 4. It is a very quiet Camino, which is lovely, but that means that you need to be a little bit more self-sufficient when it comes to food. So you want a bag that can have room for snacks and full-on meals, actually, because some of the albergues and even the pensions are in very, very small towns. But yeah, that's it. That's what it looks like. This is my bag. Let's weigh it. Dry weight, 3.5 kilos, which is just over 7 pounds, which is kind of amazing, actually, with all this stuff in here. And it's why it was such an easy bag to carry. So that's my Camino Invierno packing list and recommendations. I've linked all of the items that I recommend in the description below. If you want to check out my wife's packing list, she has a very similar list of items with a few changes that she loves. I'll put the link somewhere. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you have a great Camino Invierno. I think it's one of the more underrated Caminos. I absolutely loved it. I'll probably do it again, maybe in a different season. But this packing list is gonna ladder over to any Camino that you wanna do that might be a little bit colder. Camino Francés in the fall or the spring, Camino Norte anytime, because it's cold up there. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any gear that you recommend or that you absolutely swear by for your Camino. I'd love to learn more. I'm Shawn, and this is the day I spent.